Yeah, just a couple of issues in relation to Section 7. I'd like to ask the Minister, in relation to where overpayments may be made to persons, how does the state recover the overpayments? I raise an issue in relation to redundancy payments, that where self-employed people, particularly sole traders, where they laid off staff during the recession, or where their businesses failed and they had no choice but to close up, they had to pay 2 weeks per year redundancy to all of their staff. Now, anybody that wasn't able to pay that funding, they had to, the state stepped in and paid the 2 weeks per year. Now, this is operated under the 2003 Act, which was amended, where it increased the weeks from, I don't know, is it from 1 week to 2 weeks per year for the employee. But the state at the time, as if I recall correctly, had a knee-jerk reaction to a company in Waterford that went burst, namely Talk, where I think it was 400 or 500 employees were laid off overnight, and the state had to step in and pay the redundancy. And from that, the state amended the legislation in 2003. But in any event, what has happened here is that the sole trader is being treated completely different to a company. A company can fold up, and the state carries the can for the 2 weeks per year for its employees. But the sole trader, who has gone through the recession, who has been a good employer maybe for 40 or 50 years, and who found it very difficult and was unable to continue their business, had to close down. And if they weren't able to pay the 2 weeks per year, the state, as I have already said, stepped in, paid the 2 weeks. But now the state, on a number of incidences that I know of, are following those people for the money back. And this is going to be taken out of the persons if they're not able to come up with the money at this stage, or reach an agreement with the state, I presume. But when they die, their estate will have to cough up, and I think it's very serious. I think that the sole trader is treated completely different to companies, and I would ask the Minister to have a look at it. I think that you should look at the 2003, the amendments that was made to the 2003 Act. In effect, what happened in 2003 is that you have made it retrospective for sole traders to pay if they go burst, or if they close their business. So in January, say 2003, you might be caught for 1 week per year, but in February 2003 you were caught for 2 weeks per year, maybe going back to 1970s or the 1960s. So I think it's a very, it was an awful imposition to put on sole traders particularly.